We like to take stuff that's nothing like us and make it like us.
Release your life, take your place inside the fire with love.
Several points.
Really?
Give you an example. Inside the Fire,
Okay.
on the Indestructible record, a song that's about suicide.
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand the taboos associated
Yeah.
with that. Believe you me, I heard it
Real.
from many people. The video, when we shot the video, the way we wanted to shoot the video, believe you me, I heard it.
You had a problem with another video from Believe, right? Which was in
Yeah.
the burning New York
That was
City.
ridiculous. That was just ridiculous. That was just because there was rubble falling off the tops of tall buildings
Yeah.
in an earthquake sequence in downtown Los Angeles, which is not such a far-fetched thing to begin with. But because it came out during the anniversary of 9/11, and the imagery was too reminiscent of rubble falling off of the tops of buildings
Yeah.
of the World Trade Center, so people lost their minds. I mean, videos were getting banned left and right at that point in time. I know that Blink-182 had one of their videos banned. Foo Fighters had one of their videos banned. A lot of people were taking hits.
Yeah.
To me, it was heightened ultra sensitivity. It's incredible and ironic that they have no problem playing the actual footage of the World Trade Center,
Yeah,
falling down, but any imagery that looks anything like it is no good. So, whatever. Ironically, it ended up becoming one of our more successful videos from an online perspective. So, it still ended up seeing the light of day. But with Inside the Fire, it was definitely a touchy subject. There was a song on this record that I had a lot of resistance on initially, and that's Never Again, which is about the Holocaust. Are you sure you want to go there? Are you
Yeah.
sure you want to put yourself out there as a Jew and to take a stance against the people who deny that the Holocaust ever happened? I'm like, yeah, I do. I've never ever had an issue with my heritage and who I come from and who I am. My grandparents on my mother's side and my whole mother's side of the family were wiped out with the exception of the grandparents in the Holocaust, save one or two people. Both of my grandparents on my mother's side, one of whom is no longer with us, unfortunately my grandfather, were survivors of the camps. My grandmother in Auschwitz and my grandfather in Bergen-Belsen. And we're about to lose our last remaining living generation of survivors. It's important to say to the animals of this world, to the intelligence of this world, who think that it never happened, listen,
Yeah.
buddy, fuck you. It happened to my family. And maybe if they realize that it's not just a story that you read in a book, that it's something that happened to someone, like the singer of a band that they like, happened to his family. It's not just a story.
Yeah.
Maybe it becomes more real. But I've never had issues approaching subject matter which is risky. Don't be lazy. Don't expect anything to be handed to you. You need to fight, kick, scratch, punch, bleed, anything you can do. Put all of your time, all your effort, all of your money. I know so many bands that just expect something to be handed to them on a silver platter. You have to make it happen. When we were a baby band, when we were an unsigned act, any money we made gigging went back into the band. And we took money out of our pockets. All of our promotional stuff were given away for free. We didn't sell t-shirts and cassettes, we gave them. We plaster stickers all over the damn city. We'd if there were 4 hard rock and heavy metal shows happening in town on that given night, each member of the band went in front of each venue and handed out flyers or cassettes or stickers to everybody walking out the door every single night that it was happening. You bust your ass and you do it. And look, at the end of the day, if you don't have the songs, all of it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, concentrate that you have the strongest grouping of material that you can put together. But once you do and you feel confident about it, put your life behind it. Don't expect anyone to hand you anything, particularly in this environment. It was tough when we were coming up. It's 10 times tougher.
Yeah.
So.
There's too many men, too many people making too many.
It's still the seminal metal bands, man. It's still Sabbath, Maiden, Priest, Metallica, Pantera, Queensryche, and if you want to go even a little bit further, Soundgarden. We love the classic metal. We love the rhythmic sensibilities of things. Rhythm is a huge part of what Disturbed does. The whole power groove revolution that Pantera started was so important for so many people. And feeling the aftershocks of that and embracing them, it was very important to us. I think that rhythm always has to be a very huge part of how metal is crafted these days. Those seminal metal bands, the Maidens and the Priests, they had that melodic, huge quality to them, and even your Metallicas, they never forsook a chorus. They never, laid back on anything, and they gave you those moments of incredible intensity. And those are the guys that we look up to. Those are the guys who, some of which these days we can call our friends, which is a surreal enough thing in and of itself. But it's a very interesting turn of events to be able to share the stage with people you looked up to as a kid, and to be spoken about in similar conversations. And it's very humbling and kind of hard to swallow at times. It's very surreal. I can understand certain things. What they can't understand is that all of this is predicated by a history of a people who've been oppressed for thousands of years, of a people who finally have their own country and who aren't going to take any shit from anybody. On the other hand, I saw the video. I know what happened. I have friends of mine who are in the military still. Was it absolutely necessary to double tap these guys between the eyes on the boat? You and I both know it wasn't. Even though they were attacked, they could have subdued them. They could have shot them in the arms or the legs. They didn't have to, commando style. You're asking for trouble. There's a way to temper strength with diplomacy. And in particular, the Turks have always been a friend to Israel. And when the fires were raging here, who was the first country to send support? The Turks, okay? Despite the flotilla incident. So we know who our friends are. And despite what you hear in the news, our economic ties with Turkey are as strong or stronger than they've ever been. In fact, they've increased since the flotilla incident. So money talks, and that is the bridge for everything. We're in a very precarious position. We're no longer the underdog. And to the world's eyes and the liberals of the world's eyes, they don't understand anything other than what they see on TV. They don't understand that, the very term Palestine was one that was referring to an ancient tribe called the Philistines, a term that was referred to the Jews by the British as opposed to the Arabs. They don't understand that the West Bank used to be Jordan and that the Gaza Strip used to be Egypt. They don't understand these things. They understand what they're presented on television. Now, is it right that neither us nor the Arab world have done anything to make life any easier for these people? No, nothing is right about it. Nothing is right about the whole situation. It's not right that they bomb us, and it's not right that they're kept segregated in their little areas either, and immersed in poverty. And nothing about it is right. And like I said, money makes everything go away. In my opinion, the only way that we will ever achieve a lasting peace is to come to a compromise. The only way to achieve lasting peace, and believe you me, my family has a history in this country. My father was a soldier. My grandfather was in the soldier. He was in the Haganah. He was very early on was in the uprising against British domination here in Israel, and was imprisoned by the British prior to the state of Israel being formed. He was a freedom fighter. He was in demolitions. He was in Sankhani. I mean, believe you me, I have a very steeped history in Israeli war, and my family